What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I want to say that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is such a wonderful camera. It's amazing what they were able to do with this thing. You can use it for YouTube videos. I went viral with reels and shorts and all the short form content just using an iPhone. They have attachments for it nowadays where you can build out cages, add filters, you can add SSDs to your iPhone. I have 4 different builds today. I have 4 different companies, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like building each of the rigs on my iPhone 15 Pro Max. I would suggest anybody that wants to get into content creation should grab one of these. I know it's an investment, you can finance it, but you have to take action. And you can take action with this and you don't have to know much about cameras. You can just pick up the iPhone and get to shooting, start shooting your YouTube videos. As a matter of fact, this camera right here, it's shot on an iPhone. The first build I want to do is the SmallRig Cage. So as far as the cage feels great. It's got 1/4-20 mounts right here. It's got a thread on this camera so you can screw in lenses, which I'll show you that. It's got access to the USB-C down here. Overall, the cage feels really nice and it's nice and light. There's not much padding to the actual iPhone, so that's a good thing. They come with these handles, which honestly, they don't feel like the best build quality. I mean, they're solid, but they're kind of light. I mean, that can be good if you're out shooting and you don't want to have your iPhone weigh 1,000 pounds. And then it's got these, 1/4-20 screws on it, which is fine, it's doable. It's not my favorite, it's not the quickest thing in the world. The SmallRig's got a much quicker access if you need to change positions. So let me show you what this is. So you have your 1/4-20 mount right here. And for all of these rigs, I'm gonna just shoot horizontal, like we're shooting a YouTube video. So you have your 1/4-20 mount right here. And I just stick this thing in there and just get the twisting. And there it is. That's simple enough. You gotta do it with the other side too. Man, it's hard to get this thing on there. You gotta make sure that it's lined up perfectly. All right, bam, got it on there. All right, so now it's horizontal. It's more or less ready to shoot. Now, this feels pretty good in your hands. As I said, these don't feel the strongest in the world. They feel kind of light. Now, what you can do is you can take an SSD with a holder. I'm using a tilt-a holder on it right now, as you can see. It has this 1/4-20 screw on the bottom right here, and you can just attach this somewhere on top. Now you're gonna need a USB-C cable. I got a link to all this gear. It's in my bio if you guys want it. You wanna take the USB-C cable and you just wanna run it into here. Okay, so now that I have it in here, now what I wanna bring attention to is right here, there's a little bit of a gap. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is a gap between the USB-C cable and the cage. You have to have a USB cable that can actually fit in there like that. You can put different lenses on this. So they actually sent me 2 lenses, come in these nice little carrying cases. This is actually the 10 times macro lens. So you have to get really close to something to use this. And it's a decent lens. It's mainly for photography. It's too shaky for doing anything with video. So I don't suggest this lens for doing video. What I'm excited about is this lens. Yes, the fisheye lens. And what's cool about this lens is it'll fit on the main camera. So usually when you use the lens that comes on it, the 13mm, it's really noisy and it's using a higher f-stop. So this just screws on right there. It has a wider field of view. It uses the main lens, which is the cleanest lens. So that's why you would get this lens. And it's really cool if you want some good stylish stuff. Oh yeah, much more punched in. See these arrows? This is actually a plate on top of this. This allows you to load your lens on the cage. So that's what it looks like without the lens mount. So you can add instead an ND filter mount. So you gotta put the ND filter mount, come here, sucker. All right, there we go. It was hard to get that thing on there. But once you got that on there, you gotta have a 67mm thread ND filter. So I have this Polar Pro ND filter. It's actually the Mist 2 filter. And that'll screw on here. And then you peel it off. Voila. Looks pretty good with an ND filter right there. So this is the SmallRig build. I don't usually use this. It's mainly because the handles and it's not too ergonomic when I'm going out and shooting, but it does have its use case scenario. I don't really think that it's my favorite, but hey, it is there, it's cheap and it's affordable. It's probably the cheapest one you can get. I also want to mention about that SmallRig Cage. If you got something like this, a DJI mic, it's not gonna fit that clearance on the bottom of the rig. Let's do the next cage. This is the Beast Grip cage. This thing is heavy duty. It feels crazy. It feels amazing. Matter of fact, I really do like this cage. If you want to do anything professional or you've seen anything professional, they've been using this bad boy. It's super thick on here. This is not something that you just carry your iPhone around. It's got 1/4-20 mounts on the side. It's got a different mounting plates you can put here. It's got this really heavy duty case that you can take off. So let's just take that off. Let's put the iPhone in this thing. Okay. And then at the bottom, it's got these 2 screw like little slits, and you just slide this thing on. It's got that cool metally sound. You put it in here, and at the top here it snaps. Okay, and look how solid this thing is. Now it doesn't have any protection back here, so you still got to be careful with your iPhone. But let me draw your attention up here. It comes with different plates, so you can attach different lenses that they sell. You can also use other people's lenses. I had an anamorphic for it, but I returned it because I usually don't use anamorphic lenses for this thing. So what you do is you just make sure that this cool little red thing on top is unscrewed, right? So you can attach the plate and then you screw it back down right here. Bam, it's there nice and tight. Now what's important about this, you just screw in the anamorphic lens, and then you could use an app like the Blackmagic camera app, which is free, by the way. If you want to be a cinematic filmmaker, just go get that app. I swear to God, it'll change the way that you film. You can shoot professional stuff without having a professional camera. It's the best app. So I went to Amazon and I bought one of these. This is just a step-up ring. So I'm not exactly sure about this thread. I think it's 37 millimeters, and this steps up to a 67 millimeter thread. So you can screw this on. There it is, okay? Like I said, I have this Polar Pro Mist 2 filter with a 67 millimeter thread, and you just screw it on right here. There you go. As you know, with an iPhone, like, how am I supposed to hold this? I mean, you can hold it like this, that's fine, but having a grip changes everything. It comes with this L bracket right here, and it comes with this handle. So what I usually do, I like to just use one screw, and I'll put it right here. Then you gotta take your Allen wrench and tighten it down. Then you slide this up right here. This actually might be too far, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it. This is a pretty aggressive gap. I could move it in if I wanted to, but bam, take my DJI mic and I plug it in right there. Actually, let's change this gap just a little bit. So as you see, I can get my DJI mic in there so I can record directly to the iPhone, clean audio, using one of these receivers, okay? And I can shoot amazing stuff. It's got this amazing grip, so it's gonna help with stabilization. Got your ND filter on it. The buttons, as you can see, they're a little weird, okay? Like they're fine, You lose access to your quick action button, which kind of sucks, but this is a legitimate rig. They even have an adapter that they're coming out with that comes out like this far, and then you can attach lenses to it on this cage. So it really turns up your camera. I could take this out, put a solid state in there, which I've done before, but usually if I'm running gunning, I'm gonna use something like this if I want a little bit more heavier duty. So the Beast Cage, it's an amazing rig. It's seriously, I would never get rid of this. It's super needed if you want a heavy duty cage and you want to put a bunch of attachments on your iPhone. Okay, the next cage I want to talk about is the Polar Pro. Now this thing is not what you'd expect because it's super daily. Okay, look at this. It's just like a phone case. Anybody got that? Everybody can use this phone case. So bam, let me throw this in here. There it is. There it is. Look, I want to draw attention. See this? This is called their Defender plate, all right? It's got this little button here. Protect your camera. Protects the back of the phone, so ain't nothing happening there. It's got the MagSafe ability, so you can attach like batteries on the back, which I have done before. You can use that for any type of MagSafe and it works. Now, what you're gonna notice is it's got these little notches right here. It doesn't have 1/4-20 mounts or anything like that. It does have the access to the quick release buttons, and I mean, this thing's just daily. I can do anything with it. Now that's where this thing comes in. This is the handle that comes with it, and you know, this thing, you can just press it down and it kind of opens up, right? Because it's got these little notches. Let me see. It's got notches here. Because what these do is you can just place them anywhere with those notches that are on top. But I usually like to put it at the furthest back, okay? It's got 1/4 20 screw mount, and it's got this button right here, which is for Bluetooth, all right? You can turn it on and off. My batteries are actually dead on this thing right now. But you can press it, it's a shutter button, and it feels pretty good. Like right here, it's very incognito. If I'm walking around in public and I don't want to draw a lot of attention, then I'm shooting with an iPhone, which is actually me a lot. This thing's super sleek. People won't even see that. And it can do a lot, okay? Now, it doesn't necessarily have the lens capabilities if you want to throw lenses on this, but throwing lenses on an iPhone isn't my favorite thing to do. But it keeps my lenses protected, so I really like this Defender plate. These are different attachments that they have that go specifically with this case. So you see that it's got this weird groove right here. Let me show you how this works. So this is a 67mm filter. This is just, as you see on the back, it's got that square shape. And like I've done a bunch of other times, I've showed you the filter. Bam, there it is. This is your filter outside, your ND filter. I can just press that Defender thing and pop it off. So they gave me this filter. This is a variable ND filter, and these are super quick. So it's got a protective cover on it, and on the back, it's just that specific rig for this case. Bam, you slap it on there, pull it off, and it's ready to go. Let's get another one. They gave me this CP filter, and they also gave me this UV filter. It's just a polarizer filter. Just come here, bam, slide it on, bam. So it is extremely quick. And honestly, when I'm shooting, speed is super important to me. I like to have a lot of speed. I like to be incognito. I like to have speed because I'm moving so fast. A lot of people can set up their shots and things like that. The kind of content that I do and the people I'm around, I don't have time to set up shots. What I like about this case a lot too is this, the DJI audio. It does have clean audio doing it like this. You can attach your SSD on top here, which I have done, but I need some clean audio when I'm out shooting, so I usually put the DJI on the bottom right here. Now, it does make a weird grip, okay? I have big hands, so this is no problem for me. I'm not complaining about nothing, but I am gonna say that this can be a little awkward. But honestly, this is an ideal setup if you wanna be speedy and quick and honestly, trick people on YouTube. I'm shooting cinematic stuff that sounds super good with this little rig. Last but not least, let's talk about this cage. This is the SmallRig Cage. It's got this cool green gradient. It's actually the Brandon Lee variety. You know, he got a deal with them and he's worked to design this cage, and it's got a cool feature to it that makes it different. So it's got a quick release button right here, and then we just take our iPhone and slide it in. Now this feels good. It feels good to do that. This case, I don't know, for some reason feels good. It's got an unprotected back. Now that kind of sucks, but it's just supposed to be a case, some kind of cage, something so you can attach things on it. It's got 1/4 20 mounts, so that's a good thing on this one. I don't like carrying it around like this. It's kind of exposed. I've done it before. It's not my favorite thing to carry around like this. It just doesn't feel protective. I feel like I'm still being gentle with it. I don't want to scratch my iPhone. So that's why I like the Polar Pro over this one. Now, what it does have that none of these other cases have is these are quick release handles. So all these 1/4 20 mounts can be used. So you just, oh, there it is. It's attached. If I want to shoot vertical, there it is. Want to take it off, attach it there, attach it there. Now look. It's also got a Bluetooth shutter button that can come on and off. So to be able to reach this USB-C here, it's so deep. You're gonna have to have like a really long head, maybe something like this to get in there. So there you go. It's gotta be straight and it's gotta be long to be able to fit in there. And then you can attach a handle on it, so it works. So if you wanna attach your SSD. Last thing about this case, it's got this little attachment you gotta put on it. So this is the main camera, and you just gotta turn this thing on there, or it comes in a different variety of ways you can position this thing. You can put it like that. Anyway, it covers the main camera, and then you gotta put their ND filter on it. So let's do that. Now the thing about this ND filter is it is magnetic. It doesn't feel like the strongest grip in the world, so that's okay. But you know, it does get the job done. It's quick. With all the quick releases and the magnetic ND filter, they definitely had the mobile filmmaker in mind. So I definitely recommend this case if you want something that's gonna give you that speed, because speed is important. Let's talk about which one I like best and which one I don't like. I'm honestly gonna just tell you straight up, the Polar Pro is my favorite one. I told you, I like to be incognito. It's really awkward when you're shooting YouTube videos and people are trying to hate on you, or they run into you in public and they tell you to stop filming because you're not supposed to be filming there. It's super annoying. So the Polar Pro makes me super low key, and it feels pretty great in my hands. And it's just my favorite overall. It's speedy, and I don't have to change the case every day. I can just walk around with it. It's got a defender plate to protect the lenses, so it increases the life value of my iPhone. So that's definitely number one. Number two, Beast Grip. Now, I like the Beast Grip because it can do so much. It's a solid rig. It makes your iPhone have all the power it needs. Now, it's really chunky, it's heavy, it's got specific uses, but if you want to do a more professional shoot, you want to look like you're more professional, you really want to build something out, get that rig. It's super nice, okay? Any of the downsides, it's heavy, it's not super quick to take the handle off and things like that. My third favorite is probably got to be the SmallRig, because I like the quick release stuff. I don't like that there's not a lot of protection to it, so I always got to take my iPhone out and swap it all the time. I'd rather just like keep my iPhone rigged up most of the time. So when it comes to me, I'd rather just keep my iPhone rigged, and that one, there's a lot of swapping. I got to carry all the gear and the handles. My favorite one, the Polar Pro one, it's just got that one handle, and then you basically got a cover and like one ND filter if you want that, and there you go, you're ready to go. With the other ones, you kind of got to build them out a lot more. And you can use SSDs on all the rigs. I usually don't use it because I'm running audio, and that comes to the clearance on the USB-C port. It's a lot of distance, so it's not easy to run audio to that. If I have to do it, I got to do this awkward, weird 3.5 millimeter jack to run to the case. So it's not the most ideal scenario. And then my least favorite is probably the Niwar. It just feels kind of cheap with the handles. It is probably the cheapest one, but you know, if you want it, you need it a pinch, you need some 1/4-20 mounts, and you just need a quick cage, it can do that, but the handles are cheap to me versus a SmallRig. That's why it gives it the edge to me. And I'm not a huge fan of how those plates fit onto the Niwar cage, but I do like the lenses on the Niwar cage, so I can't say that that's not good, because that definitely is good. And honestly, all the cages are good. Any way that you can attach a cage to an iPhone is gonna be a good thing for you. You can shoot better, you can make better angles, you can deal with light a lot more. So it's always gonna be a good thing. So happy shooting, guys, and I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it to all your friends. If you mention in the comments you need help, I will help you out. If you want mentored or you want some settings or anything, click the link down there. We have a mentorship program where we're teaching people how to blow up their social media, not just one social media, but all of them. And we teach you how to monetize your content too, so you can get paid through ad revenue, being affiliate programs, selling items, selling your own business. If you have a business, we can show you how to scale and use funnels. We do all this stuff. So thank you for watching, guys. As said, check out other videos that I got here, and I'll catch you on the next one.